So we're going to go over a few things tonight. First of all, I want to talk about is posting, okay? I know like we have like key times of posting. Usually it's like, like in the morning time, like rush hour, whichever time works best for you. Some people like to do it like before 7, between like 7 and 9. Some people like to do it between like 11 and 1, and then 5 to 7, and then sometimes like right before bedtime. Those are usually what works best, but you have to follow your crowd. You're gonna notice, especially if on your Facebook group, if you have less than 200 people, you're gonna be able to see how many seen by it shows, okay? So if you see that it's seen by 5 or 6 people during the hour of 7 to 8, then you know, oh, okay, that's probably not the best time to post. Maybe I should post a little bit later and do that, okay? And another thing that I've kind of done over the past 2 months, just to kind of watch and see, is that when you're posting, I love the cutesy posts with the cute little funny things just as much as the next person. But I promise you guys, those things aren't what's going to get you your sales, okay? And I know that they're cute and they're easy to post, and that's a lot of it is because we're busy, we're out and about, and they're the most easiest thing to post. But take the extra minute or 2 to copy and paste and paste that actual, testimonial in that picture, okay? Because that really helps you guys, and it's going to get their attention. It's going to get them looking there and going, ooh, wait a minute, I kind of like that. What's going on here? And they're going to start following you a little bit closer when you start doing that, okay? And it's not just all about getting the sales. That's not it. But it's going to intrigue them. And let's say that one day we're posting about migraines, and somebody's been suffering with migraines for how long? And we might finally be able to help somebody with migraines, okay? I'm not about the money when it comes to the Plexus. That's not it at all. It's about actually helping somebody. And I think we have such a ministry to be able to reach out there and really help a lot of people. So I think it's really great that if we are kind of like target different areas each day. Like if one day you want to work on migraines, if another day you want to work on chronic fatigue, another day you want to work on a different area. Just kind of flavor it up a little bit. A lot of times, especially during this time of year, you'll have a lot of moms who are trying to get pregnant. Try to work on things like that. There's a lot of posts in Club Plexi that you can copy and paste of moms that have gotten pregnant, especially this time of year. This is just the time of year that people are trying the most, just because a lot of moms don't want to be pregnant in the summertime. And so that's just general rule of thumb. So, posting on your iPhone. Now this is a bit tricky. It can be a little bit of a stinker. What you have to do is you have to go into like your Safari. You have to log on there onto Facebook. So instead of logging on to Facebook like you normally do from your app, you have to log on from Safari, okay? You'll actually go to Club Plexi just like you would regularly. You'll find the story that you want, which the testimonial that reaches out to you the most, okay? At that point, you can save the picture on your phone just like you normally would. You click on it and save it, and then you'll go back and then you'll click until all the words are, actually let me go back a step. You'll click see more because you want to make sure you have all the words, okay? And then you'll click on it until it all is highlighted. And you'll click on it and it's going to say copy, and you're going to say yes. And then you'll go back over and you'll go to your page, and at that point you're going to go to post, and you're going to click on it to paste. Sorry, I went blank. Paste it, and then at that point you're going to click on the picture, because you can actually, where it has a little camera, you can click on the picture and bring it back up. Does that make sense? Or did I completely lose you guys with that? Does that make sense? Okay. So that really helps with that.
So we'll have access to this video, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, I'm gonna post it in our group.
Okay.
So and hopefully we'll start having that. So, also, a lot of people say, okay, I've reached out to my family, I've reached out to my coworkers, I've reached out to so many people. Nobody is interested. Who else am I supposed to reach out to? I've made a list of different people that I've reached out to in the past, just with different things that has worked for me, okay? And it's going to be on here, but I'm going to go through this for you guys as well, okay? Let's say that you have some kids in activities, okay, or grandkids. Boy Girl Scouts, band, let's see, football, basketball, soccer, getting involved in volunteer at school activities, with the teacher, like be the room parent, different things like that. Library, take cooking classes, especially because we're trying to be healthier. Let's start taking some healthier cooking classes. That's even something that we could do as a group, you know, together, and then get in there and get involved and talk to other people in the class. Golfing for the guys. Seems like you're right. A gardener's club. Professional alliances like the Chamber of Commerce, like Monica is pretty involved with things like that. Different hobbies like cake classes. I know Sasha's pretty involved with that. Quilting, different book clubs. When your neighborhood has get-togethers, you want to volunteer at different food kitchens. When you volunteer at food kitchens, you are volunteering with a totally different caliber of people. And I don't mean the people that you're helping. I mean the people that are actually volunteering with you. Because it's more people that are on our level and they want to help people just like we do. And so it's really reaching out, and they want to help people in a different level as well. So that's a very good way to reach out to people. Let's see, women's group. Men's groups, church and spiritual groups at churches. Always ask for referrals. So let's say that you're going out and somebody says, oh, can I get your card? Let's turn that back around. Can I get your card? Because you know what? How many times do we pass out our cards and it's an empty card? Let's get their card. Not that we're going to bother them, because I'm the last one that's going to pick up that phone and bother them. But a few weeks ago, I had a lady at Walmart who kept on running into each other at Walmart. Neither one of us had on anything Plexus at all. We got out to our car, and at about the same time, she saw I had my Plexus sticker on it. I saw she had hers on it, and she said, how are you doing with Plexus? I said, oh, my team's doing pretty good. We're doing pretty good. And she said, how many team members do you have? And I told her, she says, what are you doing? And I was like, well, you know, we get together, we have meetings and things like that. And she gave me her card and she said, please call me. Please, you know, let's get together and talk. So we did, and we had coffee, and, you know, we got together, and I invited her tonight. But, you know, things like that, just reach out, because even helping other Plexus people is okay. Like Jessica has a lady that is under Celeste Gwen, and that is really big for us as well, because if she's under Celeste Gwen's teaching, which is our biggest seller in the company, that could really help us, because she could help us in return in learning how to, you know, market the products in a different aspect, because maybe there's a different key that we're not getting. Does that make sense? So, okay, different schools, cosmetology schools. How many cosmetologists do you know that are always trying to lose weight? I know there's at least 50. Right. Networking with a local business owner, like a chiropractor. Most chiropractors right now that I see are doing Avocare. But Avocare is starting to go to the wayside a little bit more and more that I see. So that's something to kind of reach out to. Customer appreciation events is something to do as well. Maybe you do like a giveaway with like a 3 or 7 day sample or something like that to kind of, you know, get the word out there. With salons, dry bars, tanning salons, when they have client appreciation days, they'll have like a booth, so where you can like set up a little area and kind of talk about Plexus, and different ones come around and things like that. So it's just different things. Bible studies. I know a lot of times we don't like to talk about being Plexus and losing weight, but it's not just about the losing weight. If you hear someone complaining about back pain or discomforts and things like that, it's helpful. I can't remember the band. Bunko. One of our ambassadors is at a Bunko thing tonight, and she was taking a sample to all 7 of the Bunko members tonight. So I'm curious to see how she's going to do with that. So, let's see. Traveling clubs, events at country clubs, neighborhood get-togethers. Some of this was duplicate. Sorry. Do you guys have any ideas?
I just pass my card out to, I see people say that they like put them on things at the grocery store, and I don't do that. That's not my style. I'm not, first of all, I don't want the manager of the grocery store calling me and telling me to come get my cards. I would just be mortified, so I don't do that. But I don't mind, I'm talking to somebody and I could be talking about anything, and I'm like, look, just give me a call. That doesn't have to, I don't even have to say Plexus. This is my business card. It has my contact information on it. And so I try to get my word out that way. I find that there's just almost not a day that I can't find a way to turn the conversation to something healthy. Everybody wants to get healthy. And you don't want to talk about weight loss. My first couple of months, I thought weight loss was the primary because I needed to lose the weight. But I realized it's so much more than that. And I lost really fast at the beginning, and then, man, I hit a stop sign. I didn't do hardly anything, and I'll just be honest, I took Slim only for about 4 months, and that's how I lost the bulk of my weight. Then I added Accelerator. I was losing slowly, but it wasn't great, so I switched to Boost at convention. I thought, I'm going to do Boost. Well, it stopped everything. I didn't lose a pound for 2 months. In fact, on some days I would gain a pound, but I'd lose it back, but I wasn't going anywhere. And I said, you know what, I'm stopping the Accelerator and the Boost. I took 2 weeks off, and I just took the Slim, and guess what? I started losing again. Well, now I've added the Accelerator back, and I'm losing better. I'm about 30 pounds down and about 18 inches down total. And I started taking it in January, but I didn't sign up till May. And so I can't say enough about the product. But back to the cards. You'll find places to just leave them with people. Just make sure that you look for every opportunity. If you say, how are you? Most people are going to say, well,
right.
They're going to touch some place that hurts, or they're going to tell you some story about being tired, overworked, underrested, too busy. Well, everything that they just said should make your mind go, oh, I need my Plexus.
Right.
And so listen to what people are telling you, because it's what matters is listen to them. Find what they need. And most of my customers are not necessarily overweight. They need health.
Right. And that's true, because I have one customer who got off of it for about 4 months because she says, I'm just not losing the whole, I can't see spending the money, I'm not losing weight. I said, okay, that's fine. Well, 2 months ago I got a call from her. She said, Nicole, I need to get back on the Plexus. I said, okay. She said, I love the way I feel on it. She said, I've been so tired, so fatigued, I'm not sleeping. My bones ache, everything. And I was like, okay. So now that she drinks 2 Slim a day, and so she's back on it again, taking it twice a day. And she says, I'll be a customer for life. And so, it's awesome, that she's able to do that. So, one other thing that I forgot to say is alteration places. Leaving your cards at alteration places, because people are going there because they're letting their clothes out a little bit because things are getting too tight, or they're bringing them in.
That's a good one. I leave my card in the diaper changing area because when you have a baby, typically moms want to lose weight.
Yes,
So
they need the
I
energy.
always leave it there.
Amen. Because we need the energy
And
for
last
sure.
week at HEB, I was paying attention to my cashier. She didn't say hello, but I said hello.
Right.
And I noticed her being like this, touching stuff. Well, I noticed her hands were cracked because of eczema, dry skin. And so I didn't talk about Plexus and everything. I was just checking out, and I said, well, here's my card. There's something on there to help your eczema. And she said, how'd you know I had that? I said, girl, see your fingers here. It'll help you. So she was like, thank you. So
Oh,
I was
awesome.
just paying attention.
That's great.
Yeah.
That is great. See, things like that, you know, just being aware of things and really reaching out to people and in their sense and reaching them where they are really kind of makes a difference.
Something else you can take advantage of is when you're delivering product or giving a sample out, I always say, here's a card for you, and here's 2 or 3 more for family and friends. When they ask you what you're doing, you can just hand them this card. It's cheap, it's easy, they're spreading the word for me, and that everybody comes to mind, and it helps them. So-and-so needs that, Aunt Susie needs this. So always don't be greedy with those cards. They're cheap. Hand them out right and left to existing customers so they can spread the word, and they will do the work for you, and you'll be amazed at what comes in. Make sure you follow the customer service though. You've got to care about them, check in on them. How are you doing? Are you feeling better with this? To make sure you're listening, you take notes of what the problems were so that you can follow up with them in a couple of weeks. I try to do my thank you notes, seasonal artwork, because I don't do handwritten, I do emails. And so I kind of keep it fun and, you know, just in a colored font and saying thank you for your order again. I hope you're doing well. If not, you know, so you've got to do the customer service. I think that keeps customers longer than on other products I've tried and nobody cared. And they let me quit because they didn't, you know what I mean? I didn't feel like I was losing anything. But they're more hesitant to drop when we're friends and we become friends and I care about them.
Right.
So then, and you get to troubleshoot as new things arise. You know, like I'm dealing with this one customer who didn't have rheumatoid arthritis, now we do. And I'm like, oh God, you know, so we're working through that. But that wasn't something that was at the table when we came on. So you've got to stay in tune, stay involved. It takes time and it takes energy. But it will be well worth it. If they know they can trust you and if they feel like they're not alone on the journey, they'll divulge so much more information, and that way you can better get a true picture of the problem. But it's well worth it.
That's right. And two, there's a few ambassadors, nobody within our group, that they actually post on their page, thank you, so-and-so, 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 so-and-so for your orders. Please don't do that. To me, being a nurse, that is a privacy act. Don't do that. I mean, if somebody could go in that list in the back and see who that person is.
But see, anytime anybody gets on board because they want to be approved by Nicole for their name to be on the board, they're not going to be a long-term customer. No. It's going to be a lot of work, a lot of babysitting because, well, they're going to be unhappy. So they're getting into it for the wrong reason. So that's attracting the wrong clientele.
Right.
Yes.
So don't be that. That's not the way you want to go. That's not what it's about. And people who quit taking it, keep loving them, keep talking to them as if nothing happened. Don't turn and ignore them.
Nope.
You got to be the bigger person, and 9 times out of 10 they'll come back.
Because it's not personal.
It's not personal.
It's not personal, and that's the hardest place to get is to go.
Yes.
Okay, this guy he undid his auto ship, but it's not about me.
It's not.
It's about him. It could be about money. It could be about stress at work. It could be about so many things that I don't have a clue about.
Right.
And I just have to. My hardest thing is to look in my back office and I see all those inactives and I go, oh, I want to see those. So I sort them by active so that I only look at the top part. I put those others below where I can't see them because it's discouraging to me.
Right.
If to sort them by that, you just click the top of the column. And so it'll put the actives and then it'll put your inactives. And so you can see just those. You can sort them by all kinds of things, by the date they joined, by last name. You can sort them however you need to look at them. One of the things that I do, and I am you have to understand, I've owned a business, my husband and I travel, and I've owned a business for about 10 years, and customer service is the ultimate part of our business. If we don't have good customer service, we will not have a business. And so somebody, in the very first month I was in the business, talked about a 2-2-2 plan. You know what the 2-2-2 plan, I don't repeat if you know. Okay,
Yeah.
Within 2 days of someone placing an order, I personally handwrite a card and I put it in the mail. Now, I made my own thank you cards. It has my business card in half size page. I blew it up big, so it's my business card on the front. So they see me, and I stuck my face on it so that when they get it, they know who it came from. And on the inside, I have it typed at the top, a couple of things that say, there's 2 things that I put on there. Let me know if there's anything you need, and I'm so appreciative or something. But then I handwrite, I'm so glad that you talked to me about, and I talked to something very personal. I find something we have in common. Even if they're a stranger, you figured out something most of the time. Put something personal. I appreciate that you placed your order. Please let me know if I can be of any assistance. And in that envelope, I include their instructions. They ordered Slim, an Accelerator, and X Factor. So I tell them I have a card for each one. So I just have to grab it out of my little bag, stick it in the thing. 2 or 3 business cards. I stick it in, drop it in the mail. So about the time they get their order, they get my thank you note. Okay, so that's the first thing I do. Then 2 days after they get their product, I send them either a private Facebook message or an email. And I just say, I see that you got your product. And if I notice that their product shipped and it should be delivered, I'll send them a note that day. I'll go, I just wanted you to know I saw your product's going to be arriving today. It's out for delivery. And people get excited that you're paying attention. I give them 2 days, and then I send them a note and say, just wanted to make sure you didn't have any questions, that you got my little card in the mail with the instructions. Most of them are like, yeah, I got it. I love the flavor. They'll just send some quick back. And I always end with, please don't hesitate to ask me questions, and I would love to know your successes, scale and non-scale. So I give them, and I let them start thinking there's not going to just be weight loss that's going to help me out. Then 2 weeks into their product, this is 2 days. 2 days after I send it the day they order, so they get it 2 days after they order, 2 days after they've taken it, and then 2 weeks after they've taken it, I send them a thing. Just wanted to make sure you're not having any problems. Everything's going well. Just a reminder, don't use more than 8 to 10 ounces of water. I throw something in there that I think might be a tip that maybe they that they might have missed. Oh, I know what that thing is on the paper. So be sure and do their measurements, their pictures, and weigh themselves. And then I tell them, hide it. Put it away so you're not going to see it and nobody else can find it. Hide it. Because they're embarrassed. Everybody is. And then, that's the 222. Then after a month, I send them a little thing and say, okay, go pick up your stuff that you hid. And now let's weigh and measure and take a picture. Because I promise you, you're going to see something different. But even more than that, what are your non-scale victories? Are you sleeping better? And I start asking them questions so they have to address. And you know what? I just get the best responses. Now, where I fall down is I get busy and then I don't follow through. But every month when they place an order, I send them a thank you. Not a handwritten, but I send them I noticed that you placed your next order. Thank you so much. Or I noticed you're still a preferred customer. I really appreciate you doing that. You know, just something to let them know that I really still thank them for being my customer. I created a little form that has a place for their name, their address, their email, the date they placed their order, and then I have my 222 so that I'll put a date of when I'm supposed to do the next touch. Because I've got to be organized or I'm not going to do it.
Do you mind sharing that?
I don't mind at all. I'll send it to you and then you can put it.
Okay, awesome.
But yeah, it's a great place, and I write notes because then if they send me a private Facebook message, I don't want to have to go back and read, now what was it they were trying to do? So I have it all on that master form. When I get to the bottom of that, I flip it over because eventually it turns into once a month. All I'm doing is touching base with them once a month and thanking them for their order and asking if they have any questions, and then I would love for them to share their stories. You know, and then if they tell me, I'll say, now do I have permission to share that? And if they say yes, I say, do you want me to leave your name on or off? Because some people are like, I don't care if you tell others, I think it's great, but I don't want my name on it.
Right.
And so, you know, I get permission before I ever talk about anybody out loud. But that's really helped. And I know that's kept some of my customers that probably they weren't as happy and successful as they wanted to be. And I just remind them, you didn't gain this weight or you didn't get in this poor health in 30 days. It took you years of misbehaving and eating the wrong foods and not sleeping well to get to where you are today. So don't give up. And I even ask them in that very first note, I'll say, now listen, I'm asking you to commit to 3 months. Because in 3 months, you're going to see an improvement. Some people aren't going to see anything in 30 days. In 30 days, they're going to go, it didn't work for me. Well, that's not fair. I mean,
Something else you might,
Yeah.
I think Mom showed me, it was a health inventory, and they're supposed to take it before they start any product. And it's, you scale, is it 1 to
It's
10?
an evaluation.
It's a 1 to 10?
I was just
How
gonna-
would you rate, okay, go ahead, sorry.
No, go
No,
ahead.
no, go ahead.
Yeah, you probably have, you already been thinking about it.
Like, rate your sleep, what about your pain in your knees?
Ooh.
How well, sugar cravings, name them. And so what they do is before they even start any of it, they have this baseline of where they were.
great.
And then a month later, they get it out, take it again, and then it forces them to see all their victories, not just the scale didn't move.
Right, right.
But wait, are you sleeping better? Do you have less migraines? Oh yeah, I forgot I had those all the time and now I don't. It's
Right.
amazing how we forget what's
Right.
no longer in front of us.
Right.
Exactly.
But it's a victory nonetheless. So that helps you, that health inventory.
Oh, yes,
health
it's very
inventory.
And it addresses the physical and the mental.
Yes.
So will you share that?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Kevin will.
Oh,
See,
yeah.
See, I would put that in my thank you note.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because in my
Yes.
thank you note, one of the cards I have is a picture of the body, and it shows everywhere you're supposed to measure.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I have that, because most people go, what do you mean take my measurements? They take a waist
Right.
measurement,
Yeah.
and they don't know what else to measure.
Right.
And so I send them about 7 places. And then, I'm a very organized person. Nicole will tell you. I'm like OCD
That's
a lot.
awesome.
And but it can be a downfall. So, but my thing is, I look at these people that say I lost 35 inches. Well, but are you measuring 3 places? Are you measuring 15 places?
Right.
Because that's not real fair. If I'm only
No.
measuring 3 places or 7 places,
True.
and you're
Yes.
measuring 15, that 35 is a bigger
Oh,
number.
I see what you're
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I like to use a standardized, so everybody that I post on my page is using my list. So when I say this one lost 15 inches, I've lost 18. Well, I'm only measuring certain spots, and I don't do but one side. I don't do both thighs and both knees and
Right.
both biceps. The numbers would be much larger if I did.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So to me, I had to come up with a standard that worked for my group, and it's really seemed to be, it helps them because they know that when they tell me they've lost 17 inches, I know where they're talking. So
Your 17 inches is equal to someone else's 17
right,
inches.
right,
Maybe it might be in different places.
Right.
So we're comparing apples to apples.
right,
here.
right.
Exactly.
And 17 this month and 25 in 3 months from now is still very relative. Where if they change where they're measuring, there's
Right.
I don't, when they do their measurements, like, I don't really even count that because now when they tell me their sizes of clothes.
Right.
That tells me everything. But, cause they were saying, 30 inches, well,
What
30
does that
inches
mean?
where?
What does that
Right.
mean?
But when they tell me what their sizes they
Right.
went down to, now that's relevant.
See, not on my iPad, but on my computer, I have a Excel spreadsheet that I've been using for a long, long time. I used to weigh 350 pounds, so I've lost a lot of weight through my life with gastric bypass, but then I had some health issues and I put a lot of it back on. So I have this standardized sheet that goes way, way back, and it says, I measure my neck, I measure my breast, I measure my waist, I measure my hips, my thighs, my knees, biceps, and calves. That's the places I measure. So I can go back 5 years and tell you what I was 5 years ago on those same places. So when I say I've lost 17 inches, that's huge to me because I might have taken a year to lose 17 inches before. For me, my waist has been amazing to watch get littler and littler and littler, and I've had to take up pants and I've had to add
can find a
elastic.
waist.
Yeah. Where is that supposed to be? So those are the things that have really helped me, was to kind of set something up. And years ago I was in Amway, and we learned to be duplicatable. Whatever you do, make it that every person underneath you could do the very same thing and be equally successful. Don't create things that make your job harder. Create things that you can pass down and make your job easier and make everybody underneath you understand.
Right.
And
It's important.
it is.
It's very important to do that, and I agree with that. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. I really like that because, we have to reach out to our customers, because if they know that we truly care and it's not just about the business, then that's so important. And Right, and our preferred customers are our next ambassadors. I mean, and we have to look at it like that. And it's not to sign somebody else up, but you know what? It's going to help that person in so many different ways, and we have to realize that. Because without this business, it's helped my family in countless ways. I mean, countless. So, questions? Anything? Yes, ma'am.
I have a question. I have a lady in Florida that's wanting to become an ambassador.
Oh, awesome.
Problem is that she doesn't drink water, refuses to drink water. But from what I've seen, if you don't drink water, you're in big trouble when you get on that scale. So, what would you suggest that I tell her? She's saying, like, could she have a bottle of water and put, like, Crystal Light in it?
That's
or
fine.
the diet Lipton tea?
I wouldn't do tea because tea makes you retain a lot of fluid. I would start off with the Crystal Light, and eventually she's going to be able to get down to doing like lemon water or things like that. I had to do that in the beginning because I wasn't a water drinker either, and now I'm able to do just water.
So
Do
tell
you
her that would
agree?
be okay?
Then, I
And
mean,
there was a post that went around that told you the different things that you can add to
Right.
water to
You
flavor
can infuse it with
We can
fruit.
find
Does
it.
anyone have that?
Dig it up. It's
I
in
can
the
ask
graphic somewhere.
Candy. I think Candy has that post in Team
I'll try to
Plexus.
look for
But
it.
the other thing too, for me, when I started taking the products, Nicole told me about it back in December, January,
Mhm.
and I'm really skeptical. I'm not easily convinced. And so I called her and said, well, what about, can I get a sample? She said, yeah, you can order it. Like, $40, are you kidding me? So I ordered the sample, and then I wouldn't take it. I was scared because I've had some heart palpitations in the past, and I was petrified to try anything. I'm allergic to half the things on the planet, and I just was like, I don't think I want to do this. When I finally decided to do it, I started taking just the Slim. I wouldn't even let myself take the Accelerator for fear that it was going to make my heart go crazy. And I said, I'm not changing a thing. I've read all these people that have lost all this weight, and they said they didn't do anything different. I'm not changing a thing. What you have to know about me is I drank sweet tea from the time I got up till the time I went to bed. And in a week's time, if I drank a bottle of water, it was exceptional. I just did not drink water from childhood. I had had some bladder surgeries, and they made me drink massive amounts of water, and I hated water. I had an aversion to water. And at 2 o'clock every afternoon, I ran through Sonic and got my vanilla Dr. Pepper. Okay, I'm just being honest. I said, I'm drinking this.
cake after Jesse was born.
That's right. I drank my tea and my vanilla Dr. Pepper, and I don't do diet because I had migraines, so I don't do aspartame at all. So I did the real deal sugar, and I still lost 18 pounds in 2.5 months. But what I found was on about 2.5 months in, I stopped by Sonic at 2 o'clock one afternoon, ordered my vanilla Dr. Pepper, took a drink, and I went, I think this is wrong. Their carbonation must be off. And I threw the thing away. The next day I went to Sonic at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I got my vanilla Dr. Pepper. And it didn't taste bad that day, but I realized an hour later I had drank this much. I didn't have the desire for it. And then I started realizing, I really think I want water. That's just crazy. So I would alternate. I'd have a glass of water, a glass of tea, glass of water, glass of tea. Now I probably drink 2 glasses of sweet tea a week, maybe. I haven't had but maybe 2 sodas in the last month,
Wow.
and all I drink is water. It's just what I desire. Nothing, I did not make myself stop doing anything that I didn't want to do. So free them. Tell your customers, it's okay. Drink what you want. It's okay, because their body, as it gets healthier, will begin to crave the things that they need. And you'll be sure and kind of put the thought in their head, now listen, in a little while you'll realize that tea doesn't taste as good as it used to, or you're going to realize that Dr. Pepper's not so good. Just free them up to just begin the products and not be under bondage to, well, if I don't do it this way, I'm not going to lose weight. I eat meat once a week, beef once a week. I eat chicken, fish, and shrimp all the time, but I eat beef about once a week. It's just what I found works better for me. I feel better if I don't eat a lot of beef. It's just a personal thing. I don't particularly eat a lot of fried food. I like it, but if I eat it too often, it doesn't taste good. So once in every couple of weeks, I'll have something fried. But for the most part, I just choose what feels right. And you'll begin to listen to your body the more you take a product. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I saw a real interesting post about encouraging people to drink water, and they said if they just have that, I just can't do that. Just say, well, okay, can you drink half a bottle?
Yeah.
Can you drink half a bottle?
Do what you can.
For a week,
Mhm.
and then maybe next week see if you can drink a whole bottle.
Right.
and then work up, and then the body will start acclimating,
Right.
oh, we're getting the good
Right.
stuff now,
Right.
and it'll start
It will.
cleansing.
It's
Right.
crazy how
But
it
don't
does
just
that.
throw out there, you gotta drink 8 bottles a day.
Especially for heavier people, they're
Yeah.
like
Right.
freak out.
100 ounces a day.
Right.
Are you kidding me?
Right.
It's
Yeah.
crazy. I'm like,
And it is.
what? I'm waterlogged at the end of the day. It's a lot of water.
Jason drinks 2 big old gallons a day. He carries that jug around.
Well, and the thing
That's
is,
real.
bottle in, bottle out, so you gotta find a way
Hardly do as
to
it is.
eliminate that part.
That's crazy.
So you have to be
I
careful.
lost a customer
Where's
because
my
she couldn't go to the
cauliflower?
bathroom enough.
Yeah.
And in order to drink the right
Swear if I
amount,
feel like
she
you're
looked
cheating.
outside.
Well,
and
teachers have been my
Toilets,
hardest,
it's
and I've explained to them, look, figure out how many ounces you're supposed to drink. Drink 1/4 of your water before you ever leave the house in the morning. Just guzzle it down, get it over with. Then you know when your break's gonna be, and you know your body. If I drink this bottle of water, am I gonna have to go to the bathroom in 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes? You know your body.
Mhm.
So plan your second quarter of your drink before your lunch break, whatever timeline you have. Get your kids through their lunch line, and then take your potty break at lunch. And then I tell them the third one, plan it for as soon as you would get out of school. So if it's 20 minutes before, then drink your third quarter right before that, and then your fourth is in the evening whenever it's convenient. And I've had teachers that are like, that's the best plan I've ever been able to do, because I can plan it. I know what I have to get down.
Exactly. It's so true. Very true. I did want to go over a couple of things, just because a lot of times when people start the program, they're like, do I do accelerator? Do I do boost? What's the best one for me? And I want to say that whichever one that you decide with, I do recommend that if it's an older person, they have cardiac issues, or if they have kidney problems or anything like that, I do recommend starting with the accelerator first, okay, the accelerator plus, just because it's a little bit easier on the body, okay? So start with that. I recommend giving it a full 3 months of being on that, because it takes your body time to acclimate and to get into that. Don't you agree, Shannon? At least the 3 months with that one. Okay. And really, trying with that. And then, if it's not working, to give your body at least 2 to 3 weeks in between the two. Okay. And during that time, you need to be on the bio cleanse. Okay, to help get everything out of your body, so that whenever you start the boost. And the boost does take a good 3 months, and I say 2 months before you start seeing results with the boost for a lot of people.
Yeah, I've been on a plateau.
Yes.
And I'm like, I maintained my weight, but
Right.
still I've been stuck.
You're still
Yeah. So I'm stopping the boost for a little bit, and then I'll get back on.
Are you on the ProBio Life
And BioCleanse.
and BioCleanse?
And switch it up. Do it at a different time of day.
Yeah, I'm starting to mess with stuff because it's aggravating me.
Did you get
It is.
energy off of it? Because when I tried it, I only did it for a short period of time. I like the accelerator because I have energy with it. I have thyroid problems, and I didn't have it with the boost, so I stopped.
The boost makes me
I
tired.
take mine
Yeah.
at night.
The boost
I-
makes me
it
tired,
puts me to
too.
sleep. That's what I've heard.
The boost
You know what
does-
though, but I did take the boost at night once,
Take
and
one
I
at
thought it
lunch
was
and
so
one at
weird.
night.
And it did like maintain me the rest of the day.
Did it?
Yes. So I just gotta move stuff around.
See.
So I'm gonna try to, when I get back on it, I'm gonna take it at night.
Okay.
One of my friends said it kept her up.
Really?
The boost.
Everybody's different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So you
I don't
really
totally
have-
believe her though. I really don't. I think she just didn't want to.
You have to really, it's so individualized, each person, and you have to go with what works for that person.
And I tell them that right off. I
Yes.
tell them,
Yes.
listen, this is what we start with, but then
Right.
we're gonna tweak it, but you're gonna work together here.
Exactly.
And I tell them that right off.
Right.
And they
And what a
really
blessing.
appreciate that, because if you were buying that off the shelf, there is nobody to call
No, there's not.
when there's questions or what's going on, why isn't it working?
Well, what good thing for them to think too, that I've got options. If this doesn't do what I need it to do, there's some other things we can try.
That's right.
And so it's not a one size fits all package.
Like all the other products out there.
Yes.
Right. And
Do
you
it
can
that
get a
way or
refund
that way.
on it. I mean, you have that first 60
60
days
days.
to get a refund on it. So I mean, it's pretty awesome that you're able to do that and, you know, exchange it,
Well,
so.
like, see, she has thyroid issues and I'm severely anemic.
Right.
So I'm not gonna get boosted immediately.
Right, exactly.
So I'm gonna add I don't have X Factor, so.
I'll tell you what helped me when I was
You
in
need to get on it.
the chewable vitamins
He takes
over
the
the
X
pills.
Really?
Yeah, he did really, I don't like the chewables so much, they're too tart for me, but
Well, I have
I
the
buy him the
chewables.
chewables and I buy the capsules,
The
and
energy
he's made
level
a
was
huge difference.
significant.
It did.
Wow.
And I'd give him the capsules when he'd run out, and he's like, no, they don't do me nearly as much good as the chewables.
When I came out of the hospital in December, it was 8.2, so it was, I was anemic enough, if I'd been over time my shoe, I was falling somewhere.
He had
Wow.
a bleeding ulcer and lost like a third of his blood in December, and was very, very, very sick, and they
Who
didn't
will
give
give me
him.
in that tone of voice?
Oh, I can look at you in that kind of voice. Because guess what? Mine, I just got my lab work back from a couple Saturdays ago, and my hemoglobin, you guys know how low my hemoglobin gets. And it was 13.
That's
Wow.
awesome.
For me, that's
That's
like
huge.
through the roof. That's
Never had that.
unbelievable. It hasn't
That's
been
normal.
13.
That was
If you don't
normal.
know, that's normal,
Yeah.
y'all.
Yeah,
So you're
my
back to
norm is like
normal.
an 8.5.
It hasn't been that since 2002.
He was 8.2.
So
When he got out of the
that's,
hospital, he was 8.2.
that's my normal.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, there's no energy there.
No.
No.
10.
I've dropped down to a 4 before.
The other thing that
That's when
works
I had
real
blood
good is the shakes.
Yeah, he would start shaking too.
No, the shakes you drink.
Oh, yeah, we love the protein
The
shakes.
96.
You should have let me try
Delicious. They just run out too fast.
I know that was good. It was really good. I love it.
it.